Have you ever noticed how the moment you share a piece of your personal life, it feels like you've handed someone a fragile piece of your soul? And sometimes they drop it carelessly, that sting, that regret, that whisper in your chest saying, I should have kept that to myself. That's not paranoia. That's wisdom knocking at your door. We live in a world obsessed with exposure. Everyone tells you to share, post, reveal. But let's be real. Not everyone who smiles at you cares for you. Not everyone who listens is safe. The truth is, your personal life is sacred ground. And every time you open the gates to people who haven't earned it, you risk betrayal, gossip, and wounds that don't heal easily. Protecting your personal life is not about being cold. It's about being wise, because not all ears deserve your secrets, not all hearts deserve your trust, and not all souls deserve a seat at your table. Here's the raw truth. Oversharing can cost you peace, dignity, and sometimes even relationships. Your story deserves protectors, not consumers. Learn this, and you'll reclaim your power. Let me tell you something many people don't realize. When you share your personal life too freely, you are not connecting, you are exposing. And exposure without discernment is dangerous. It's like leaving your front door wide open in the middle of the night and expecting only kind souls to walk in. Life doesn't work like that. People will step in with muddy boots. They'll rearrange your truth and they'll leave you to clean up the mess. Some people don't want to understand you. They want to dissect you. They don't want to support you. They want to measure you. And when they walk away, you're left with a heart that feels smaller, weaker, and more guarded than before. But here's the beauty. You get to choose. You get to decide who earns access to your world. Sharing personal details is not vulnerability. It's a privilege you grant to the rare few who've proven they can carry your truth gently. So the next time you feel that urge to tell everyone your struggles, your dreams, or your pain, pause. Ask yourself, does this person have the capacity to hold this with care? If the answer is no, silence becomes your strength. People often confuse privacy with secrecy. They'll tell you, if you don't share, you're hiding something.
No.
Privacy isn't hiding, it's protecting. It's saying, my story is not a community bulletin board. It's a sacred diary, and only a few get to read a page. The truth is, when you share personal details with the wrong people, you hand them ammunition. They might not use it today, they might not use it tomorrow, but one day, when they're jealous, angry, or simply careless, they can turn your own words into weapons. And let me tell you, nothing cuts deeper than being hurt by a truth you handed out in trust. That's why silence is sometimes the loudest form of power. Not everyone needs to know who you love, what you fear, or what you're fighting. Protecting your personal life doesn't make you distant. It makes you wise. It doesn't make you cold. It makes you careful. Remember this. People who truly care for you don't need every detail to support you. They read your energy, they sense your heart, and they respect your boundaries. That's love. That's safety. That's the circle where your personal life belongs. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're holding a delicate glass vase. It's beautiful, valuable, and fragile. Now, would you hand it over to a stranger you barely know, trusting they won't drop it? Of course not. Yet, every time you pour out your personal life to people who haven't proven they can handle it, that's exactly what you're doing. You're handing over your vase. And when it shatters, the pieces cut you more than anyone else. Not everyone deserves access to your private battles, your family, your dreams, or your scars. Some will listen just to compare, others just to gossip, and a few only to feed their own insecurities. That's not connection, that's consumption. The truth is, when you learn to guard your personal life, you start to notice something powerful. Your peace grows, your energy is no longer drained by explanations, by judgment, by whispers behind your back. Instead, you stand taller, more centered, more unshakable. Privacy isn't about walls, it's about boundaries, and those boundaries tell the world, I am not available for exploitation. I am not a free exhibit for your entertainment. Your life is a treasure chest, and not everyone should get a key. Here's something I've learned the hard way. The more people know about your personal life, the more they think they have a right to comment on it. Suddenly, your choices are open for debate. Your relationships are up for judgment. Your struggles become dinner table conversations for people who never walked a single step in your shoes. And that's the danger of oversharing. You lose ownership of your own story. But when you keep your private life guarded, you reclaim that ownership. You decide what to reveal, when to reveal it, and to whom. And that control is not selfish. It's self-respect. It's saying, I choose peace over validation. I choose dignity over exposure. I choose my inner circle over public opinion. Your personal life is not a stage, and you are not a performance. You are a human being who deserves the sacredness of privacy. The less people know, the less they can twist, the less they can judge, and the less they can manipulate. So protect your story like you'd protect your heartbeat, because just like your heartbeat, your personal life doesn't need to be broadcast to prove it's real. It only needs to be protected so it can keep you alive, grounded, and whole. Let me tell you something that will set you free. Privacy is not loneliness, it's strength. The world will try to convince you that if you don't share everything, you're distant, you're cold, or maybe even arrogant. But the truth, privacy is a gift you give yourself. It is the quiet shield that keeps your peace intact in a noisy, demanding world. When you choose silence over oversharing, you're not pushing people away. You're protecting your energy from being drained. You're not avoiding connection. You're choosing meaningful connection over shallow curiosity. That's power. That's wisdom. Because here's the reality. Not everyone who asks, "How are you?" actually wants the truth. Some ask out of habit, others out of politeness. And a few only to gather information. And if you spill your soul into the wrong hands, don't be surprised when it becomes tomorrow's gossips. So don't mistake for isolation. Privacy is clarity. It's knowing who deserves to sit in the front row of your life and who only belongs in the balcony. And when you live that way, when you guard your personal life with intention, you'll find out something beautiful. The people who stay for you, not for your secrets. Think about this. Every detail you share about your personal life is like currency. You're paying people with pieces of your truth, and not everyone deserves to be that rich with your story. Some will invest it wisely, building trust and deeper connection, but others, they'll spend it recklessly, trading your secrets for attention, twisting your words to make themselves feel taller. And here's the painful part. Once your story is out there, you can't pull it back. You can't unshare. You can't control how it gets retold. That's why being selective isn't being guarded, it's being wise. Your personal life should be earned access, not free admission. Ask yourself, has this person proven loyalty? Have they shown compassion? Do they celebrate me when I rise and support me when I fall? If the answer is no, then silence is not distance. It's self-protection. Never forget, the most powerful parts of your life aren't the ones people see. They're the ones you choose to keep sacred. The world doesn't need to know every chapter to respect your book. Sometimes the mystery is what keeps your dignity shining. Sometimes the quiet is what keeps your soul safe. Have you ever noticed how the people who demand to know the most about your life are often the ones who give you the least of theirs? That's not curiosity, it's control. They want access without accountability, knowledge without intimacy. And if you hand it over, you give them the power to define your story without ever truly living it with you. But here's the truth, you don't owe anyone your personal life. Not your coworkers, not distant relatives, not casual acquaintances. Respect doesn't come from exposure, it comes from boundaries. And the stronger your boundaries, the stronger your peace. When you share less, you discover more freedom, more focus, more energy to pour into the people and passions that actually matter. Privacy isn't about building walls around your life. It's about building doors and deciding who gets the key. Some people might call you secretive, but let them. People will label what they can't control. What matters is this. You are not here to entertain gossip. You are here to live your truth with dignity, and that truth doesn't require an audience. It requires protection. Let me give you the deepest truth. Peace comes when your personal life is no longer a public stage. The moment you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your choices, stop handing out pieces of your private world, you finally breathe freely. Because no one can twist what they don't know. No one can poison what they can't touch. Oversharing may feel like relief in the moment, but often it becomes regret in the long run. You think you're unburdening, but sometimes you're simply handing your burden to someone who will drop it. Protecting your personal life doesn't mean you never open up. It means you choose wisely. You give the softest, most tender parts of you only to those who have proven they can hold them with care. And here's the beauty. When you stop scattering your personal life like confetti, you start living it more deeply. You're not distracted by opinions, not shaken by gossip, not enslaved by judgment. You are free to grow, free to heal, free to protect the sacred ground of your soul. Remember this, your personal life is not content. It is not public property. It is your sanctuary. Guard it as if your peace depends on it, because it does. Your personal life is your masterpiece, your sanctuary, your unshakable core. And the moment you start treating it like a treasure, you stop letting it be chipped away by careless hands. Not everyone who smiles at you deserves your trust. Not everyone who listens deserves your truth. And not everyone who claps for you deserves a seat in your circle. Guarding your personal life is not about fear. It's about freedom. It's about choosing peace over pressure, discernment over desperation, strength over exposure. When you stop oversharing, you step into a life that feels lighter, stronger, and far more authentic. You stop living for the approval of the crowd and start living for the alignment of your soul. Never forget, your story is sacred, your truth is priceless, and your peace is irreplaceable. Give access wisely, share carefully, and protect fiercely, because the less people know, the less they can harm, and the more you can thrive in the fullness of who you really are. So from this day forward, promise yourself this: I will no longer hand my sacred life to careless hands. I will protect it, honor it, and share it only with the rare few who have earned the right to hold it, because my life is not for everyone. It is for me and for those who truly deserve to be part of it.